Check. You, did you already drink your first coffee?
Yep. It was only like a 12 ounce. What else? What are you doing there? It's a killer.
Hello, and welcome to the Corn Corner podcast. I'm Wicked Wren, and there are four lights.
I'm Cam Damage, and I have black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Today, we're talking about fears. What goes bump in the night? What?
And in your head. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Was it?
Yep. And speaking of that, let's get into it.
What's that?
It's a transition.
Okay. So we decided that today we want to talk about fears. And that could be something as literal as like spiders, which I'm actually not afraid of, I promise.
I don't believe that for a second.
Or, something deeper. So buckle up, because it could be funny. You could realize some things about yourself, get a little introspective, think about your own fears. So why don't you kick us off with a...
Now, I've heard that you're afraid of plants.
Yeah.
Is this...
photosynthophobic.
Is that what it is?
No, I don't.
I will say with the different words for phobias, there's too many.
Well, it's just like phobic on the end of any word.
Yeah, and I think that what that does is kind of makes the fear a little bit more real.
It allows people to have more things that they feel okay being scared of.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the things, it's like, let's say you're afraid of surfboards. There's probably a way of saying surfboard phobic or something.
Probably.
But is that really something that we need a definition for?
I feel
like that kind of validates it.
Well, it's people like to label things because it makes them feel seen.
Yeah.
And you're certainly scared of some stuff that other people aren't, like some silly stuff probably.
Like what?
I don't really know. I don't have an example.
I don't like scary movies.
Well, that seems pretty like...
No one should. They're too scary for us.
People like being scared in that way.
Not me.
No, and obviously.
I don't like it. It's not fun.
What's a fear you have that's like a stereotypical one besides scary movies?
I used to not like the dark a lot.
I still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I started sleeping in the dark. I like sleeping in the pitch black.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I also like sleeping in the pitch black, but I don't like initially sleeping in the pitch black. I don't know how to come around to that one.
Yeah. I would also say new places are a little bit scary. The famous story of when we were in the haunted house and it was like, you want to sleep together? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked.
Have we told that on here?
I believe we have,
Okay.
but I feel like I might as well just pop into it real quick.
When we went to Florida for my top surgery, we stayed in an Airbnb alone one night before Michael of Panic fame joined us. And it was like a perfectly fine Airbnb. It was pretty nice, actually.
I like the interior design a lot.
Yeah, I like the iguanas in the backyard.
Yes.
But it had like 3 bedrooms, and we both picked a separate bedroom to sleep in, obviously, whatever. And we went to bed and just like, we're like, okay, it's fine. And then at some point I like came into your room and was like, hey, so like, can I just sleep in here? Cause like the vibes are bad. And like without missing a beat, she was like, yeah, this place is haunted.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah, it just felt bad. It felt weird.
It did.
It felt scary.
It wasn't good.
But then, we sat together. I was like, that's nice.
Yeah.
That helped.
Yeah. But that's my Airbnb thing also, is that
Yeah.
I booby trap it like the first night I'm in it.
You do.
Yeah. Just to like make sure it's secure. And by booby trap, I mean, I put like a suitcase in front of a door.
Yeah.
So if someone tries to come in, they
gotta like knock
for
over
it.
some expensive skincare first.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything.
Are you afraid of open water?
Yes, you know that.
I do, but I'm just trying to.
You're asking a leading question for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm just trying to,
Yeah. I'm afraid of, if I'm in a boat, I don't really care, but like afraid of open water, being in it, and deep water.
If you're in a boat, you're afraid of the deep water?
It's less bad if I'm like in a like good boat. Like I don't really care.
Are you at all afraid in deep water in a boat though? At all afraid?
I guess I don't really think about it because it's not been the case that much. I've been like on a cruise ship once. Like,
and you probably weren't afraid of the water at all.
no, because
Yeah.
it's such a massive
Yeah.
thing. It's more like a going like out swimming or whatever
Yeah.
thing that like people do. Like free diving is the most crazy thing in the world to me, or scuba diving.
See, both of those aren't scary to me.
Yeah.
Because you're visually seeing everything around you.
Well, yeah. So yes, but then you just can see something coming to get you, is what that says to me.
But I would rather see it, and then my fear is a different fear. It's like, wow, there's something coming to get me. Right? Instead of like, if you're in a lake and your little head's bobbing.
Yeah.
You know, the movie of like having that alligator under.
Yeah.
They made a documentary called Lake Placid about this,
Yeah.
where there's like an alligator under the water trying to get you.
Yeah.
And you don't know.
Yeah.
That's scary to me.
Yeah. I grew up swimming in like whatever brackish or whatever murky water and stuff. So I don't like care that much because I think I knew what was in there, and it was just like, if it's only 7 or 8 feet deep, there's just some fishes in there.
Yeah, nothing
Like,
can really hurt you.
Yeah, nothing's gonna get me bad. But if I'm like in the ocean, there's a lot of crazy shit out there.
There is.
There's stuff we don't even know about out there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to find out. So I'm not going.
Yeah, I guess I always just think about statistics too, because like it's so unlikely.
Yeah.
To have a shark come up.
I
You know,
and
and
I'm
get
aware
you.
of that. Like, but also with like scuba diving, I'm not scared of the sharks and shit. I'm scared of like you're depending on an apparatus to breathe.
Yeah.
And mechanical failure happens.
I guess my other thing there is like, you know, you got backups.
Yeah.
And you also train in a degree where it's like, you're not going to go 0 to 100.
Not me. I'm not going to train at all.
Well,
I'm
yes,
not gonna
but
do it at all.
if you, well, it's a good question here. It's like, since you are afraid of scuba, which is, I would say, a relatively safe activity. Because, I mean, when you get your scuba cert, you're in a pool.
We do
You
it in
just
quarries in
stand up.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but that's extreme, you know? Maybe you should do it and get over the fear
Nah.
and grow.
Meh.
Because isn't that how we grow, is through facing our fears?
But what's the benefit thereafter? So I'm not scared of going scuba, so now I can go scuba all the time.
I think that it's probably bigger.
I think that some fears are reasonable though, and it's fine.
Sure. But scuba is one that's like, I mean, it's a pretty safe thing. So if you're afraid of that, if you're with an instructor or the class, you're not going to drown in a certification.
You don't know.
So maybe you just do it.
I'm not.
Because then that's easy growth. It's cheap growth.
It's waiting for you.
You
Is
know?
it cheap? I feel like scuba classes are probably pretty expensive.
It's pretty expensive,
Yeah.
but also it's accessible growth.
Sure. I just think that I'm not Kevin Costner in Waterworld. I'm not supposed to, I don't have gills. I'm not supposed to be down there for like long periods of time.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna fuck around with it. I'm not missing out. I don't give a shit. I can look at the ocean on the internet. I've done snorkeling. That's fine.
You like that?
That was cool. Like, but then it was just because they're right there. All those
Yeah.
fishies. You can just go. Neat.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I see one of those.
I saw that.
No, I understand what you're getting at here. When's the last time you've been on a boat?
Like a few months ago, Brad and I went whale watching.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I think that was more than a few months ago, but I do remember that.
What is time is a flat circle.
I think that was probably over a year ago.
No, I don't think so. I
think it was.
I truly don't remember.
Because it wasn't for a big like occasion.
It was for his parents were in town.
Yeah, I think that was over a year ago.
Well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Growing up, did you do the thing where you would turn the light off and then run?
Yes. What like room was it from the basement for you as well, or what? Oh, but they may have not had basements in Louisiana.
I didn't even think basements are real.
Okay.
Same with snow. I was like, that's not a real thing.
I don't. You're all
growing
making that up. Where? Well, then where did you do it? Just wherever?
Like, my grandma has an upstairs.
Yeah.
So it was like going downstairs, upstairs was really scary. Actually, it was scarier going upstairs to downstairs.
Upstairs to downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like turning off the lights upstairs, I would like run down the stairs to get away from the upstairs.
Yeah. Mine was the basement going upstairs. And the basement stairs had a corner. So you'd be like
Trying to get to the
yeah,
corner.
like around the
ASAP.
corner.
Yeah.
And there are also multiple, like, so there's like light switch for the room, light switch for the stairs. So you like just had to get to the next one. It's such a weird like thing. I feel like that was really prevalent in a lot of people's childhoods also.
What did you do in the basement?
But we had like an unfinished basement for a long time. I was pretty scared of the basement in general. Just basements are weird. I don't like it. But we had an unfinished basement that was just concrete with like cinder block kind of walls or whatever, and we would rollerblade down there while listening to Ace of Base. That was a thing.
Common.
Why not? But then when we got it finished, it was like where you'd play like N64 and like just like whatever. It was like the play area.
Yeah.
And then when you got older, you know what happens in the basement.
I can infer.
Yeah.
With what you're saying. I've seen Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably a basement in there.
Yeah, there is, but they're playing D&D in it.
That's not what you're talking about?
In a manner of speaking.
Okay.
A lot of role play.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, I never had a basement, so I never got to experience that. But the first time I did see a basement, I was like, holy shit, this is it.
How old were you?
We were on tour in college. We stopped in Ohio and we stayed with some friends. And like the band, we all slept in the basement.
That's so wild that you didn't see a basement until you were in your like 20s probably.
Yes, it was like I was like 23.
That's bananas. You're not missing much though.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, this is cool. But
Yeah.
it did feel like a little world down there.
It's like not fun. The Mario Underground level. That's
Yeah.
I'd like going in the basement if there's a sound cue. It's like bloop, bloop, bloop.
You could maybe set that up.
Yeah, probably. But I'll never have a basement again. So because they don't have them in Seattle either.
Yeah, I don't think that they're in LA.
No, definitely not. There's like no. Me and Abel researched this anyway. Let's move on from basement.
There is a very fear-inducing thing.
I do have to say, in the basement when I was growing up, so my mom had. Do you remember like the life-size dolls?
Yes.
So they were a thing when like our parents were younger as well, but they were haunting as dolls tended to be back then. But my mom had one.
Yeah.
And it had like red hair because my mom has red hair. And it was like, I don't know, 3 feet tall or something, but like really quite terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was in the basement and we would like shove it in a closet, like in the back, but it was always like, she's in there.
Yeah.
So like that made the basement really scary.
Does your mom still have it?
No, definitely not.
Did you see one of those like found footage movies about they like make a haunted house in like a haunted house actually, and then when opening night a bunch of shit happens?
I don't think so.
It was really entertaining. I had a lot of like really critical thoughts on it, but it was very entertaining, and I thought that a lot of aspects were done super, super well.
Like what?
I thought from a technical perspective, it was really, really good as a found footage movie because you believed all of the footage that was shot. I felt like from a creative aspect, from a storytelling aspect, there's a lot of stuff that could have been done differently.
As is part of the course with those found footage movies.
Yeah. It just like, I feel like they kind of lost the point of why they were doing it. It's like, I think they kind of stuck on things that weren't really that important.
Yeah.
And the things that were actually cool, they
didn't spend enough time on.
Yeah.
So that leads me to a question, kind of a 2-part question. Did you, when you were a kid trick-or-treating, did anyone in the neighborhood do haunted houses? Like the mini haunted garage, whatever? Pivot question. Did you ever go to like a Field of Screams? Like the ones that have like the walkthrough and then there's the hayride and the guy with a chainsaw jumps out and you're like, it's Kevin. But yeah, like.
So I would say the answer number 1 is no, there weren't any for some reason. And then in like neighborhoods. And the other thing is that no, there weren't like hayfield ones because honestly, I I might just be making this up, but there weren't like fields in Louisiana are usually disgusting.
I imagine if in Louisiana it would be like the haunted bayou, like it'd be of that,
and it would be like a tour where you would be in like a thing that would bring you around. Like you couldn't just like a cornfield doesn't really exist in the same way it does in the north.
But there weren't actors jumping out.
They're amazing. Like the House of Shock is an amazing haunted
That's what
house.
I mean. Like those things. Yeah.
It's this elaborate production. Chewbacca or Chinchuba.
Chewbacca was there.
Chewbacca was there. Chinchuba was the name of it. I don't think it's a thing anymore. But that was awesome at the time. House of Shock is like the one.
Yeah. I kind of. Would you ever want to go to one as an adult?
Absolutely not. 0%. No.
Even though you have the
no
cognitive awareness that it's just like some people.
No. 0%. Absolutely not.
It's funny. Like to me.
No.
I don't know.
There's nothing that I enjoy about it. Literally, there's nothing that I enjoy about it. I
think it's just fun. I don't appreciate, like, I want to go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, but I don't want to because I don't want people reeling out at me screaming because it doesn't scare me. It just annoys me and makes me overwhelmed, like sensory wise.
I fucking hated Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
It's so stressful. I fucking hate it.
It's so loud.
And I won't go.
I respect the actors, but also I'm like,
yeah,
get away from me. Don't touch me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want, you're too like on.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't know.
I did go to them a lot when I was younger though. And then I was kind of that dick that was like, you're not scary, like at a certain point, whatever. But there's one in Philly at the penitentiary. Like there's like a famous, like super old penitentiary there that is like people were tortured here, so it's haunted. And it's like, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Christ.
what a neat backstory. And like in retrospect, you're like, that's really fucked up that you're capitalizing on that and making it a thrill seeking thing.
God.
But cool. But I only did that so I could like do a tour of the penitentiary essentially.
Yeah.
And whatever closed off parts. Anyway.
What is that? The island in San Francisco? Is it Alcatraz?
Oh yeah.
The prison?
Yes.
I did a tour of Alcatraz once.
Yeah.
And it was actually like really, like I thought the tour was like really crazy.
Like in what way?
Informative.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah.
That kind of
Alcatraz is
stuff.
interesting.
The whole thing was like so interesting.
Yeah. Because it's not operating.
Yeah.
So like that makes it kind of okay to learn from as long as you're also learning from a place of the prison industrial complex being super fucked up.
Yeah.
But like I remember being kind of fascinated by it when we would visit San Francisco as a kid and being like, whoa, wild.
Yeah. It's pretty insane to think that happened.
Was a whole thing.
Yeah.
The escape things are cool from it. Anyway.
So maybe I should go to a haunted house because it's an easy fear to face and grow from.
This isn't going to go back to scuba. We're not going to go back there.
I'm not going to go back to scuba. I want to get my dive cert.
Yeah. And Brad used to have his, so.
Let's get it back.
Yeah.
I also want a free dive.
Not me, but I love it.
I want to, I want to spearfish.
Yeah. Talked about that with Abel. Talked about that with Abel.
We did.
Do all these activities with my partners, and I'll watch and be so happy for you both.
Yeah.
Wow, me or Wren or whoever talked last before that cut. That was such a informative point. And now for Corn Corner Queries.
As everyone knows, you send us a question. If it's good, we answer it. This can come from our Patreon, it can come from our Discord, it can come from our Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah.
So let's take out the computer.
It's really...
Wow, it's
really
heavy,
heavy.
Isn't it? Well, that's how you know it's good.
All
right.
Make sure it's on the...
Go ahead and pull us up a question.
to see it.
Great.
What's the password?
Corn. Great.
Okay, so it is... What is one thing you can't survive without?
What a good one. What are you?
Hold on. Yeah.
Look at those. Wow.
Couldn't do that without the HRT. One thing I couldn't survive without the impulse is just a literal like water.
No, it's
like,
not literal.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
what's an item you just really enjoy? I'm gonna say my journal.
Yeah, that's a good one. I need to get a journal. I admire your journaling.
I started journaling when I started deciding to make music because I want to start writing poetry to
Yeah.
work out that muscle of being creative.
And you also do the daily prompty journal thing.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
It seems it's like a good mindfulness exercise.
It really is.
Yeah. I would say my big noise canceling headphones would be my thing
Yeah.
I can't live without. I mean, I like listening to music. I'm a big like music listener to change moods or whatever, maintain moods and stuff. And also half the time I'm wearing those, there's nothing playing.
Yeah.
They are just canceling the sound out. And that's a valuable thing in life.
You are a big you always got headphones on.
Yeah. I'm a big auditory stim person or anti-stim, as the case may vary.
Well, everyone, that's the Corn Corner Queries. Make sure you keep on the lookout for more
Call to query.
call to query.
Yeah. What a great query. And I want to be clear that it's query Query, not Queery, although that would be a pretty good pun.
Yeah, we're not gonna do it though.
No, we're not going to lean into it that much. So let's get back into it. Let's get serious. Real life, not real life fear. You know what I mean? Like deeper fears.
Deeper fears.
Existential fears, not water or.
Trust me, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So what do you think that your driving fear is in life? What do you think that your
Like that navigates through life.
the kind of the lens of life?
I have like two main ones that I always think about immediately, and it's failure and disappointing people, which sort of go hand in hand in a way. But the failure one isn't so cut and dry as like, oh, I tried to do this thing and I didn't succeed. I'm like that, not that, whatever. It's like letting people down, letting myself down, failing at those things. Like I'm not scared to try stuff and fuck it up.
Yeah.
That happens, but like it's the bigger. I think that mostly just has to do with other people, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how others, so it's kind of like, do you feel like you need to prove to other people that you can XYZ?
I don't think it's that. It's also one of my other big ones is being like an inconvenience to people. So like I don't want to like do something and mess it up and ruin something for them or like get in their way or just things like that. Or if I am in a bad mood or get upset myself, I don't want to burden someone else with things and be like something in their life that's negative. It all comes back, like mine all deal with not me in myself. It's like how I relate to other people and how other people feel about me.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of maybe there's some like people pleasery-ness of it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not me.
I mean, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just talking here, you know? I don't know.
Nope. I will say that it's absolutely that, obviously. I am better at it now than I have ever been in life. But it's like a tough uphill battle to break habits of people pleasing and stuff like that and allowing things to happen to you at your expense in order to like save other people's whatever or your perceived their reactions to you.
So how did you you know that the people pleasing and these things are items that are in your life.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're feeling like you're being a little bit I don't know, like you're feeling some of those feelings come up? How do you navigate those?
I think like so many things in life, it's a practice of like mindfulness of taking, not reacting impulsively to things for one, because I think you're given some input that would have you do like I gotta roll over and like whatever, but instead like taking a second to think out like, well, what's really happening here? Why do I feel this way? Is that feeling founded? All these things that are hard to be that introspective when you're like upset or something.
Yeah.
But doing that and I mean, I talk to other people about stuff. Like I'd talk to you, always be like, hey, before I react to this thing, like, what do you think?
Yeah.
This is the way I feel about it, but like, is that whatever? But also it's like kind of a like having this self-actualization or whatever to like to stand up for yourself more and that be okay, and realize that if you stand up for something or yourself like to someone or state your feelings and they react badly, then like that's on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's obviously like if you're being ridiculous, but most of the time you're not.
Yeah.
So like if someone like is your friend or whatever and cares about you and that happens, then they're not going to be a dick to you, hopefully.
Yeah.
And if they are, then it's like
Setting boundaries is an act of service for the other person.
Yeah.
Really.
yeah.
Because it gives them parameters on how to interact with you.
Yeah.
It's helpful for them.
Yes. And I wish more people looked at it that way, because setting boundaries is like a huge thing in all types of relationships.
Yeah.
So, and it's like not even just boundary stuff. It's a lot of it is just standing up for myself. If like something makes me uncomfortable or like something upset me, like saying that to the person, but communicating it in a way that's like, I'm going to talk about DBT again. DBT therapy. I've talked about it in another episode.
Yeah.
That's like
Talk about it.
wise mind. So it's like emotional and logical together. So like saying like, this made me feel this way. And it like doesn't, it's so hard to word this out loud. Like there's ways to word things. It's like, when you said this thing, it made me feel this way. So like, instead of being like, you made me feel angry, it's like, when you said this thing, that thing that you said made me feel angry. Like it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going on a whole other tangent now.
So with DBT therapy, you just talked about the emotional and the logical together.
Yeah.
So like when I have these conversations, you just take the emotional aspects out and I just try to be like very like,
Yeah.
I'm like, boom,
Yeah.
this is the item. How does the DBT therapy bring the emotional side into it? What is...
Well, my like a return question first. So when you are say that and you take the emotional thing out of it, so I keep being like, we're moving away from fears. It doesn't matter. When you are having like a disagreement or whatever the fuck, hypothetical situation, and something does make you upset, and you're talking to the person, communicating your feelings on the matter, how do you word that?
I guess when I feel myself being triggered, I can not escalate that into being petty or being mean or vindictive.
Oh yeah.
I can like
all that is like totally.
So I guess like if it's a stressful situation where there are emotions into it and people are activated and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I tend to like not say something like, when you did this thing, it made me feel X.
Yeah.
I'll say like, this is the next thing that needs to happen.
Okay. So
Like,
you just
we
like
need
completely
to-
really do take it.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
the emotions are like, we can't even talk about those right now because people are activated or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just like the next step is the important part.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is like move into a place where we can not be.
Yeah.
And I guess like I never really come back around to talking about the emotional
That's
side of it, you know?
So that's the problem. I'm not saying everyone needs to like dive into their emotions constantly and things or whatever, but the problem with not doing both, like emotional and logical together, is that something always gets left out and then resentment forms.
Yeah.
No matter what surrounding situations. So like if someone said something to me that like was really hurtful, and I'm the same way where I'll be like, what do we need to do to move
Yeah.
forward, whatever, not fix this, because that's not how you should look at it, but like move past this. Most oftentimes my moving past it with someone is telling them what it was, why it was upsetting to me from like my perspective, and like, do they understand that? Even if it was unintentional, which it like is like 99% of the
Mostly,
time. Yeah. Do they understand that? And then in the future, what can be like how we can like communicate differently around the thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you take the emotion out of it, it loses like 75% of that equation.
Yeah.
And the whole reason for change is because of your emotion also.
Yeah.
So like,
I feel like a big difference in how we do things is like you have these conversations with people and kind of, whereas like things will happen, I'm like, oh, this person just isn't good in this avenue with me and these other things.
Yeah.
So I'll just like reframe like what a relationship would be with this like friend or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like you find that and you're like, let's revamp all this stuff together to like keep us in the same avenue.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And I think that's a good thing, but also a bad thing sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, well, same for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm missing out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That you're getting from it.
I'm also a highly like emotional person, frankly,
Yeah.
which is why all my fears have to do with emotions.
Yeah. I mean, but that's not a bad thing again. I mean, it's a good thing. It's one of your best characteristics.
Yeah. The emotional stuff.
Yeah, because it leads to all the positives. Like, you know, I think we talked about off camera. We talked about our love languages,
Yeah.
and like yours are acts of service and gifts and things like that, and like the words and stuff in there. But it's like you like to like do things for people.
Yeah.
So then that's like one of your like. You're always thinking about people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, are you drinking enough water? Are you this? Are you that? And that's, you know.
I never consider that me bringing your water bottle as like kind of a love language thing.
It is. I mean, it's an act of service because you want me to be healthy.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like for me, I know that, so I'm never going to like take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I know I could like ask like, hey, could you send me food? And you'd be like, yeah,
Absolutely.
I know you would. But
Yeah.
like, I would never do
Yeah.
those things to like kind of like do that stuff. You
There
know?
is this brings up a funny like, and I'm sure I don't need to even say who it was, but one of my acts of service, as you know, and like in my love language stuff, is I like cleaning people's spaces and organizing them for them.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely like doing it.
Yeah.
If I'm ever, who knows who's listening, if I'm ever in a place and I start cleaning it or something, it's not because I'm like, this is disgusting. I don't give a shit.
Yes,
like
doing it.
Yeah, I genuinely like doing it more than I like cleaning my own house, like by far. But I was doing that for someone habitually, like when I was visiting them. And at one point, like during the visit, it got like a little like static feeling. And then we were outside smoking and they were like, you know, like I like really appreciate this thing, but I don't like when you move like my medication from this spot. And like I could tell they were like scared to like say that even.
Totally.
But my response was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I won't do that anymore. Is there anything else that like, and I can not clean at all? Like,
Yeah.
is there anything else I shouldn't do specifically? And it's like, and it was like, no, everything's fine. Just don't
Yeah.
do that one thing. And it's like, wow, look how easy that was.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like,
communication.
yeah. Like,
Yeah. We get really afraid of like hurting the other person.
Yeah.
And like taking steps backwards from things.
Yeah.
You know? Because that like comfortability is so nice where you can just go in and do stuff. But it's hard to be like, it's hard to have those little directional
Yeah.
conversations where you
Yeah.
just kind of like course correct just a little bit.
yeah.
You know?
And humans are just afraid of confrontation, period,
Yeah, totally.
for the most part, because it's seen as like only a negative thing with nothing coming out of it. Like people think of confrontation, the word even is confrontational, but you think of like fight, like anger, whatever.
Yeah.
But like it's not. You can just confront problems in like a calm, productive manner and like whatever.
In the attachment styles, you're more anxious than avoidant, right?
I think so.
I don't know actually.
There's 4 of them.
I thought it was anxious, it was avoidant, and then is it like, what are the other 2? I mean, for all the audio only listeners, Cam's taking out his phone right now, and he's going to be looking into this for us. He's really going to dig in. We'd like to get the hard facts here in the corner.
This turned from a fear episode to a fears in interpersonal relationship.
Well, that's what fears are.
Honestly.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so there's secure attachment, which I don't think I need to read the description. That
No.
makes sense. Avoidant, which is emotionally distant, prefers individuality, doesn't depend on partner, avoids conflict, and logical. Anxious, which is insecure, fear of partner leaving, lacks personal boundaries, always shifting moods, and highly sensitive. And then disorganized, which is emotions are messy, unresolved trauma resurfaces often angry, aggressive behaviors, and lacks empathy. So I would say I'm some points in both anxious and avoidant.
Yeah.
But I also have some insecure. But like I think no one's going to look at one of these
Yeah.
and be like, all
I'm
of
in
those
it.
apply to me.
Yeah.
Like whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I definitely.
I don't know if anybody is secure because I feel like everyone kicks out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be extremely avoidant.
Yeah.
And I've moved my way into the like secure quote unquote bubble.
Yeah.
But I still find myself jumping into the avoidant bubble.
Yeah.
Like I have a text I need to respond to and I'll put it off.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. You avoided me trying to get you to go to coffee this morning.
I did. I saw the message come up and I said, you know what?
Maybe later.
I'll come to it later. And I used to also be anxious too, but then that was insecurity to myself.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, like not everyone, but like it was just, I was like, I need another person
Yeah.
to validate my whole thing.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, okay, I'm actually like not, and I moved out of that.
Yeah. Like that. What are your, coming back from relationship talk things, what are your audio only listeners? I'm doing a
Kind of like a big, like a hands thing.
yeah, like I'm holding something heavy and it's shaking.
I think that my number one fear maybe, and I think it's hard to articulate right now, but I think it's probably being found out as a fraud.
Yeah.
I think is my number one, because I will come up with something and I want to get like up to speed as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
And I tend to not like put out like, I'm just learning this thing and I'm new.
Yeah.
You know, I tend to do that, and I tend to figure out how to get through the beginner stage as quick as I can.
Just because you don't want to like be embarrassed by being a beginner.
Yeah, but it's also weird because I do take pride in like saying I don't know things.
Yes.
And like getting help. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But I very much like want things to be a part of my identity before they really are a part of my identity.
Yeah.
So it's like with my new little thing that I'm learning, which is vocalizing and singing and screaming.
Yeah.
I know that going in, and I'm being super open about like, I've been doing it for 2 months and I'm cool. I'm like owning that.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, but if I'm open about that, I'm going to work really hard, which I generally do.
You've
And I'm gonna get up to
sang
speed.
every day for like,
I got a board.
yeah.
But like a couple years ago, I would have like done it in hiding for 6 months.
And then come out and been like,
And then let people think like, oh, maybe she's been doing it for 8 years.
Yeah.
Who knows? And I would have been like, oh, it's fine. You can think that.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where I feel like that it kind of holds me back in a lot of ways. And it's just insecurities about being found out as being a fraud.
it's like pervasive imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to have really big imposter syndrome, but I've kind of gotten past that. Also, I used to be like a perfectionist, which is just code word for scared to commit to putting something out there until it's quote unquote perfect.
Yeah.
And nothing's perfect. And I just didn't want to be criticized for the thing I was putting out. So I realized like that's really what perfectionism is,
Yeah.
you know? So I've gotten past that by just like putting it out, you know, like done is better than perfect.
Yeah. Do you think that your thing, to delve into your thing now, is like a how do I word it? A hesitance towards vulnerability?
I don't know. I don't really think it's vulnerability, because like I don't mind being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think what it is like from a young age, I always would look at people doing things and I would be like, they're doing it, but they're special. They're doing it, but they're doing it differently than I'm doing it, and like my family's doing it, and my dad's doing it, and my mom's doing it. Like we're different in some way. I would do that with everything, and forever, I kind of called myself like a collaborator. I'm not a blank page person. I'm better at being a supporting person. And it was just because like I wanted to like get close to the item I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it in the way that like someone who could actually do it would do it. But that's not true.
No.
So I think it was from an early age. Like I just would look at like, you know, people doing shit and I would be like, oh no, they've got the secret.
Yeah.
But we don't have the secret.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. I'm sure it came from the ways my parents interacted with me in some way. But I took that through life a long time.
Do you think that doing this, like doing the corn corner shit, has helped with all that shit? Because like, I know we've talked about this before. Like we can't just do a podcast, like whatever, like that shit.
I think it's the inciting incident in my like changing the narrative of
Yeah.
being like, no, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
No, I am a creative. I'm not a blank page person. Or sorry, I am a blank
Yes,
page
yeah.
person. Like, I'm not a, right hand person.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say, and this isn't meant to be like I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass or like putting myself down, but like you are the blank page person of this. Like we obviously are collaborators on like everything, but there's so much of it that is like if I'm bouncing an idea off you, we're both on the blank page together.
Yeah,
But also
yeah.
so many things come from you. Like so it's I don't like my note that I have on the corner is like 80% like the shit we've said in text that's like from you.
yeah, I mean, I guess I get just scared about there's a little sub conversation of I have to get over the fact of like if I've seen someone do something before, I will say to myself, "Oh, well, they've done it. I can't do it now."
Oh, yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Right? Like I love Natalie Cohen. I want to shoot photos like she shoots.
Yeah.
But I get angry because I'm like, she's already done it. But I'm like, wait, I'm going to do it in a different way.
Yeah.
And I need to do it. And all she's doing is stuff that Cindy Sherman did before
Yeah.
her.
And, like, different versions
she's
of Helmut
amazing.
Newton
And like,
and, like,
yes,
whatever.
like same thing with Tim and Eric. It's like,
Yeah.
I fucking love Tim and Eric. A lot of my ideas come from them. So I've like had to get rid of that because I realized like your influence on my ideas has changed them into other things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what creation is.
Yeah.
And that took me a long time to figure out. I can't remember what the first thing was. But
First thing I'm what?
I think that the corner is like the inciting thing that changed that. Cause like putting out the first 2 podcasts, I was so scared.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah,
like, cause
no, same.
I didn't put anything out like that. And now it's like getting easier and easier and easier. So now I'm like, I can put up a vocal cover of a Spirit Box song.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not going to be
That'd be so
scared of
cool.
that. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do it, and it's done is better than perfect. And I'm like, going to do it.
Yeah.
And,
I also think people like to see someone trying more than anything.
so Spencer from Periphery, like fucking vocal idol,
Yeah.
was like sings these really high notes recorded, and someone was asking like he sings like a G5, which is like wildly high.
Yeah. I saw in that music video last night you showed me. He's
And he was
way up there.
And he was like, someone was like, do you go for these things live? And he's like, yeah, always, because even if I miss it, people want to see you try and
Yeah.
miss, then play it safe, because that's boring.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I also just like in general envy people who try things like and aren't scared of failure, or aren't scared of like what if whatever, or like maybe what if it's not for me, what if like blah blah blah. Like it's just cool when people want to just like do shit,
Yeah.
and like if it is a thing that you're into, you pursue it. And now you've been doing the voice thing for 2 months, and then there's going to be a Wren does closet screaming on the corner, the corn
Yeah,
closet,
yeah.
as like a segment. Like I don't know, whenever you want to do that, like that's
Yeah.
going to be sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually find that with me, it's like if I'm really afraid of something, I'd need to just like do it.
Yeah.
Because there's usually like a really big reason why I'm afraid of the
The thing,
thing.
yeah,
But
not scuba diving.
I'm not afraid of it, so
Yeah, that's me.
I'll just do it.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
afraid to like leave the house,
Yeah.
so I come to your house instead.
Well, we had dinner with friends the other day.
That's true. That was actually kind of a big deal for me.
It
which
was.
is stupid. No, it's not stupid. It like was a big thing though.
I know it was.
and it was a great time.
Well, and I even said it to you. I was like, this is the easiest, like cheapest as in like emotional spending.
Yeah.
We can do.
Yeah.
It's 3 people out we know.
Yeah.
We like, down the block. You can order your own food at the thing.
Yeah.
You get it, you bring it, you sit down with it. Like, it's like we don't have to find parking. It's like the most straightforward way of interaction.
Yeah.
And
It's also so stupid. I avoid those things because I'm like quite often I'm the life of the party. Frankly, I'm very good.
You
at
really are.
driving the.
You turn it
combos.
on.
Yeah, and I enjoy that also.
Yeah.
And then I enjoy at the end of the night when I'm flustered by a cute girl and I step in dog shit.
yeah,
and
you
then
did
walk
do that.
home.
And then I stand a sink with a Q-tip
Yeah.
or a toothpick and get the dog shit out the boot.
That's a rom-com plot right there is what that is.
Yeah.
Well, any closing fear thoughts?
I'm afraid that there's not enough people on our Patreon afraid there's not people in our Discord and Twitter and Instagram, so go over there.
Check the links in the caption on this video. Get on there.
If you've got any fears, any trauma, go ahead and drop it in the comment.
Yeah. The comment section is a safe space for trauma dumping. Always
in there.
and forever. We probably won't respond. Someone else may. You may not like it, but you're going to be heard.
I'll tell you, the more intense a comment is, the more unpersonal the response is going to be.
Yeah.
If you tell me about trauma, I'm going to respond, oh, cool. Thanks for sharing, smiley face.
Yeah. I did that today on Twitter. Someone was like, I was talking about acne and stuff, and they were like, would you go off testosterone to cure acne? And I was like, no. Like, and they
Probably not.
And they were like, well, you said you tried everything. And I said, thank you for your input. And that was it. Like,
God. Well, no matter if you wait, sorry. What is it? It's no matter if you
it doesn't matter if you're shucked or you're creamed.
It just matters. Wait, God.
That you're a kind corn. Like, just be kind corn.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Oh, God.
Are you doing the thing that I hate on purpose?
No, you hate it when I get loud.
No, I hate when you like do like I'm stupid thing. It makes me so sad. Like, I hate it so much.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But usually you do it and hit your head and say, I'm so stupid.
Yeah,
But it's like, it's not funny.
It's kind of funny. All right, well, be creamed. Be shucked.
Just be corn.
Be kind to each other.
Nailed it on that one. Cocks for babies. Literally.
Hello, and welcome to the Corn Corner podcast. I'm Wicked Wren, and there are 4 lights.
Damn it. I was like, there's a lot more than that in here. Dude, I wanted to I didn't prepare one again.